A massive thank you to Juan Pablo, World Military Vids, Rene and Dominic for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 16 of our F1 2021 My Team career mode here for the US Grand Prix. Yes, we're really now into the end game of Season 1, just 5 races to go, including today. And yeah, I cannot thank you guys enough for the continued support on this series at the moment. But as we head to the US Grand Prix this weekend, you can see it is very, very busy on the timeline. We've got a lot of stuff currently in the works. Now, we've got 2,000 R&D points as well at the moment. You can see we've had a new spark plug upgrade come in. So we are going to go with some cylinder heads. That should give us a big old advantage and be ready for Melbourne in a few weeks' time. But we probably should wait and see if any of the other upgrades fail. Front wing adjuster brackets on there. Durability department focuses on there. Durability team building, that's all gone well. That's gone perfectly as well. We're getting everything's working. Finally, everything's working for us.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
I am far happier with that than I ever should be, as, yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, that takes us right back up ahead of Alfa Romeo. They're pretty much identical with AlphaTauri as well, so absolutely things you love to see at this stage of the year there. We've unlocked some more upgrades as well, so we can go with the plank, or we can go with the engine cover. I think we'll do that one with a 29% failure chance, finishing just after Melbourne in a couple of weeks' time there. So yeah, we've still got plenty of upgrades in the works. Now we just got to wait and see. Obviously, I don't think if there's going to be rule changes announced, surely it's going to be either COTA this weekend or Mexico next time out. But yeah, we're making good progress though. In terms of other teams, Mercedes still pulling away even more there. Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin now all very, very close together there, as Alpine have brought quite a few upgrades to the car this weekend as well. But yeah, let's dive in to the US Grand Prix. Right, so here we are then, back at the Circuit of the Americas. Yeah, very, very interesting to see how we fare this weekend, of course. It does feel strange that we're pretty much already at the end of Season 1 here, just a few races to go of this first campaign. And it certainly has been an interesting one. Plenty of ups, plenty of downs as well, of course. Hopefully in the final few races of the year we can have more ups than downs. Yeah, this would be nice to finish the first season on a high there and really try and leapfrog our way into Season 2. But yeah, fingers crossed though, obviously this weekend we'll get some more R&D points. I think now, to be honest, we might have to stop doing any more upgrades on the card, just in case we get any rule changes that are announced really, really late into the campaign. But yeah, we'll wait and see as to how I feel about that down the line though. But yeah, COTA though, normally a pretty good track for us historically. Not the most difficult track to make overtakes on as well, so fingers crossed this weekend can go in our favour. Really actually struggling with the balance of the car this weekend. I don't know what it is about COTA, but sometimes, yeah, the back end does feel incredibly loose and lively around this circuit. And then still not seeming to be able to get the car slowed down into there very well either. I don't know why I always leave the race sim program to last. It probably should be the one I get done first in free practice, but fingers crossed we can get more R&D. Come on, Yuki Tsunoda, don't sit in the way, buddy. Thank you very much. We'll take the little bit slipstream as well from the young Japanese driver. Had a pretty quiet first season so far in Formula 1. Obviously only scored the points at France. But yeah, certainly hasn't matched up to Pierre Gasly, and I think the way Helmut Marko would have wanted. Right, in the final couple of corners then to finish off our free practice programs. This should be the nice 200 R&D points. A little bit of curb out the final turn.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
I'll be honest, not feeling particularly comfortable in the car so far. We might have to make a couple of small setup tweaks ready for quali, but fingers crossed. Well, here we are then, qualifying day, here at COTA, round 16 of the year. I've made a couple of small setup tweaks that have hopefully helped counterbalance the lack of rear end stability. Just up the ride height a bit. I think we were skimming over the bumps just a bit too much in a few places, but fingers crossed we'll see what difference that has made. We should be getting through into Q2 this weekend, of course, with all the new upgrades on the car. That feels so much better through turn 2. But obviously we'll wait and see what the Alfa Romeos can do. Not afraid, obviously, to bring some surprises as well. As you can see through the S's, we're having a lot more confidence than we did in free practice. That's what I like to see. Of course, some slightly softer rubber as well does help with that. But yeah, definitely now feeling a bit more prepared. Having that extra bit of confidence to just check the car in during a qualifying session is so important. Especially, when we are right on the cusp of making these Q2s. That can make a big difference come race day on Sunday. Of course, very tight run in towards turn 1. Any extra couple of yards you can get on the way in, really important. Oh, that's a lot of curve. That's the IndyCar line. Through the penultimate corner, in through the final turn though. Try not to get too much understeer there. A little bit of wheel spin. A 30.7. Only 6/10 off Ocon. That's not too bad. It is meant to be a fully dry weekend here from COTA, but still, yeah, looking rather overcast at this stage of the session as we get ready for our second lap. Got to be pretty decisive here. If this lap isn't looking good, we're going to have to bail out before the end of it, otherwise we won't get a chance to go for a third run. Just wanted a bit of clear track space. Yeah, if it's not good though, we're going to have to head back to the pit lane before we finish it off. So we need to find a couple of tenths. We're down in P17 at the moment, just behind our teammate Schwartzman, but yeah, definitely think about another half a second. So we're really chucking over the curbs through there. Actually losing a bit of time in comparison to our last lap. Oh, so we just get a bit more out of shape through each turn. Best run through the S's that time around. We're already about a tenth down, but fingers crossed we can find some time. Heading down in towards the final couple of corners though. Yeah, we're still a couple of tenths down at the moment, so it certainly wasn't a bad first lap that we managed in qualifying. I think, yeah, unless we nail this corner, no, we're gonna have to bail it back in and head out for another run here, otherwise it's not going to be good enough. Well, we are just about going to get back on track in time to go for one last run here in qualifying. I'll try and back up the Alpha Tauri just a little bit though. So we head through the final corner. Don't want to get done for an illegal blocking. So we head out the final turn though, ready to go for our last lap. 14 seconds left on the clock here, as we're going to try and find a little bit more time to get ahead of our teammate Schwartzman. Should be one of our cars that makes it through into Q2, but the question is which, of course, at this stage of qualifying there. A little bit of wheel spin out of turn 1, but we are a tenth up. So we head down into the S's, leaving in 7th on the way in. Oh, getting very out of shape there, though. That's going to throw away a little bit of time. No, apparently not. We do get away with that. Actually get the car much better hooked up through the second part there. The FIA are letting you get away with a bit of curb use this weekend, and 2 tenths up as we head out of the first sector there is exactly what we like to see. Raikkonen is now right on the cusp as well, like you'd probably expect, as we try to get the power down. Hopefully Latifi's going to give us a bit of a tow. Bit of a helping hand from the Canadian, perhaps, in his Williams. Doesn't look like he wants to do too much. There we go. Faintest of tows now as we head in towards Sector 3. Oh, just a bit of a lock up there. That's not going to help us out all too much. There's a lot of time thrown away. We're still in the green for now, albeit only by a little bit. Just all or nothing through this final sector of the lap.
Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap, or that's qualifying over for us.
It is going to be mighty close as we head in towards the final couple of corners. A little bit of understeer there, but we get the car rotated through final corner. All or nothing at the final turn. What's it going to be? Is it going to be enough? I think it is. P16. I mean, we won't be able to do a run in Q2, but still happy with that. There we go, Mercedes once again fastest at the end of Q1 there. Both Ferraris again though on third and fourth even, I should say, ahead of both Red Bulls and both McLarens there. A lot of teams actually are running 2x2 this weekend, but we do just sneak through there a tenth and a half quicker than our teammate Robert Schwartzman there. 2.2 off the Mercedes, however. Yeah, they are certainly in a league of their own at this stage of the year. But like I said, we won't get any tyres to go out for Q2. There's no real point in going out in Q2. Let's dive in then to the US Grand Prix.
Welcome once again then to the United States Grand Prix here in the magnificent city of Austin. It was here in 2018 that Kimi Raikkonen delighted the world by winning for the first time in 114 races. There's always a record to be broken, so what, I wonder, is in store for us today? We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Vettel, Stroll, Bottas. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Leclerc and Kimi Raikkonen. Mr. Monaco, Schwartzman, Antonio Giovinazzi and Russell. Mazepin, Fernando Alonso, they've taken a grid penalty. Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. Mick Schumacher, Latifi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Holy moly, we have got a lot of grid penalties this weekend as we head to Kota. Leapfrogs is just outside the top 10, ready for the start of this Grand Prix, but I'm sure, yeah, there's going to be a lot of very, very fast cars around us over the course of the race today. Looking like a nice dry one, though, here from Circuit of the Americas. Do we believe the soft medium is possible? Surely it's going to be close to possible. In this Grand Prix, I'd like to believe. We'll give it a whirl, see what works. Yeah, surely, yeah, that seems doable. 12 laps and then 16 laps on the mediums. That seems possible this weekend. Now, of course, we might get a safety car. We've not had many safety cars actually in recent races. I'm trying to think. The last time we had one was, I want to say France. It might have been Silverstone. It's been a very long time in this series. Reliability has been incredibly good in the second half of the year here. Obviously, everyone just taking grid penalties as well, of course. But yeah, let's dive in then to the US Grand Prix, round 16 of the year here. Waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is a very long hole, but lights out. And away we go. Not off to the best start in the world, but not to a bad one as we head down towards turn 1 there. Giovinazzi having a look down or inside there. Schwartzman as well, going for a big old send through the first corner as well. Try and get around the outside there. We find the room, and somehow we've gone around the outside of 3 cars in one go through turn 1 there, straight up into P9 of this Grand Prix there as we try to keep up with Raikkonen through the S's there, but both myself and Kimi making good gains off the start of the race there. I think everyone was just too busy watching our teammate Schwartzman down the inside there, and we went for like the pincer movement between the pair of us there and really managed to gain off the start of the US Grand Prix there. I think Carlos Sainz has snatched the lead from Hamilton as well, of course. So Ferrari still after their first win of the year, as that is Lance Stroll trying to look up the inside through the hairpin there. But yeah, dream start for us up into P9 of the Grand Prix there. We've got a good run on Raikkonen as we head down the back straight as well there. He's always got a bit more qualifying pace, but in the race we seem to be able to match the fin as well there, as he almost goes into the back of the other fin on this grid. Kimi, though, he gives a big old squeeze through the next corner, but we do hold on. I'm at a P8 of the US Grand Prix off the start there, so like I said, that has been the dream little start to this US Grand Prix there. And Valtteri Bottas, the car ahead of us as we come through the final couple of corners of lap 1. Big old lift in this 2-2 Motorsport car there. Not quite got the ability to take it flat with a full tank of fuel on board as we just get a little unsettled through the final turn. It is Carlos Sainz that leads the way at the end of lap 1 though. That has been, yeah, the perfect start for us. Already heading on to lap 3 though. I'm hoping Kimi Raikkonen can do us a little bit of a whirly here and try and defend from Lance Stroll behind. Kota isn't a notoriously difficult track to overtake on, but generally the AI, yeah, do tend to struggle a bit around here. As, yeah, like I said, obviously DRS has now been enabled. Bottas is trying to apply some pressure to Seb just up the road. Is he going to be able to pull that one off? The Finn trying to look around the outside. He does get squeezed out and has to bail out of it. And Raikkonen's held on ahead of Lance Stroll behind us. So, yeah, the AI, like I said, do really tend to struggle about trying to get round each other here. We could use this to our advantage. Got to be a bit careful of Kimi behind, though. We don't want to leave him with too much DRS in this Grand Prix, so we end up being vulnerable here. Still struggling to work out that I need to break at the 150 there, not the 100. But do seem to be able to get it a little bit more hooked up. Really, really trying to keep the tyres in good nick early on as well in this Grand Prix. Bottas has finally made the move work on Seb. But you can see at the front, though, it is still Sainz that leads the way. He goes to show how much Hamilton's struggling to make progress. It's just the dirty air through the S's. Yeah, it really does affect the cars for following. Having to use all this battery as well to defend down the straights means we've already gone through half of it. And we're barely a quarter of the way into this Grand Prix as well. But you can see if we just use a splash out of there, Kimi normally can't quite get close enough. But luckily, it allows him to stay in the DRS still, which means people can't get round him either. Because I think, yeah, Stroll or Leclerc would probably drive past me like I'm standing still at this stage. Just intrigued to see when the pit stop window does open for people. As I think, saying that, Hamilton has dived it in. So Hamilton are the first to blink in this Grand Prix as we head through the final couple of corners. Big kick of oversteer for us. Yeah, we've got to try and take these tyres a few more laps in this Grand Prix. It's a brave strategy choice by us, I must admit. But fingers crossed it does pay off. I'm at an 7th now even of the Grand Prix. Couple more cars into the pits at the end of lap 9, but we are slowly but surely getting to our pit stop window here. I think Kimi's dived it in behind us. That's a little bit annoying. So we can work together with him a bit longer.
You'll be on the mediums.
Up now into 4th place of the Grand Prix as Schwartzman's dived it in.
Robert in the pits.
Our teammate into the pit lane there. Just leaves Sainz, Perez and Norris out in front of us. Now a real test of straight line speed then. Are we going to see Lance Stroll fly straight past us down this back straight? Actually get a decent run out of the hairpin there. No wheel spin or theatrics at all. And actually it looks like Stroll's going to be under a lot more pressure from Hamilton behind him. So we head down the back straightaway here. I think Hamilton has done enough. And that'll mean Stroll, yeah, down into 6th place once more. Don't think there's going to be much we can do against Hamilton. 11 seconds now behind Norris. But yeah, don't think there's going to be much we can do to defend from Hamilton. Top 3 are into the pit lane now, so, albeit it's only going to be briefly, we are going to lead the US Grand Prix here. Is this the first time we've led a race all season? I'm not 100% sure. It will be only for a very brief moment there as we do lead, and now we don't again, as we head back down towards turn 1 there. Hamilton going for a big old send, actually, to move himself up into the lead of the Grand Prix. But he's got a pit again here. Meanwhile, pretty much everyone else, I think, or a lot of the other cars, are still trying to one-stop this to the end. We're going to dive it in probably the end of this one, to be honest, because I think these softs have probably, yeah, about to hit the cliff. But Stroll stayed out an extra one as well, so I'm not too sure what the Canadians got planned either. I forgot to pit.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
I completely forgot to pit. At least Stroll's stayed out another one with us, so again, not too sure what the Canadians doing. I can't believe that's like the 3rd race I've done that this year. Or I just seemingly forget to pit. Oh no, who's got issues? Don't say Hamilton's got issues in this Grand Prix. It is Hamilton out of... Oh my god, what on earth is he doing? Hamilton out of the US Grand Prix here at Capure. A catastrophic engine failure, and that is going to put us back into the lead of the Grand Prix, and that is going to throw the title battle between him and Valtteri Bottas wide open this weekend. Now, Hamilton, he's always gone well around at this circuit there, but a catastrophic engine blow-up right in front of us there. The 2nd time that's happened, actually, on F1 2021. If you guys remember Spain in the Williams Road to Glory, one of the Ferraris blew up right in front of us as well there, but that is catastrophic for Lewis Hamilton here. We've now got the Canadian of Lance Stroll trying to look around the outside. We don't really want to lose the place. We can avoid it. We'll go hold it up the inside. Unfortunately, no safety car as well. That would have worked out beautifully for myself and Lance Stroll there. But Hamilton out of the US Grand Prix. In through the final couple of corners, though. These tyres are well and truly shot at this stage of the race. There is a big chunk of wheel spin out of the final corner. Lance Stroll does follow us into the pits, though. So hopefully now we'll both go on to a set of mediums and really try and stretch these tyres to the end of the Grand Prix there. I think Raikkonen has been jumped actually by the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc as well here, and I think we're probably going to come out close to our teammate Schwartzman than Kimi, but fingers crossed we're still somewhere near the points. 2.5 seconds is not too shabby either. There goes Raikkonen up into 9th. Schwartzman is still in 11th here.
One stop left.
He might actually come back out in P10 of this Grand Prix. No, of course, Stroll right behind us still. But we're still in the points here, and we're trying to go to the end. This could be fantastic. Just noticed as well, Kimi up the road is actually going to set us off, so he's definitely going to have to pit again in this Grand Prix here. So we could be up into net P8 of this race there. So even if Stroll gets past us, we've still got another couple of seconds back to the next threat. There's definitely a chance of points here once again. Could this be our 3rd point score in, what, 5 races, I want to say? Obviously, we scored at Italy and Singapore 2 in a row. Obviously, then didn't score at Russia or Japan. Yeah, 3 and 5 would be a fantastic little run of form. Nothing we can do, though, against Lance Stroll at this stage of the day there. The Aston Martin, sorry, even just absolutely flies past us down the back straight.
Win that place back.
I don't think there's really any point in us trying to win that place back, I'll be honest, Jeff. Stroll in a much, much quicker car than us. And we've just got to try and get to the flag in the shortest time possible, because we're going to be under a lot of pressure from people towards the end of this race. I'll be honest, we're not actually losing anything to Lance Stroll at this stage of the Grand Prix. They're getting a little bit caught out in the dirty air. But if we can get a run on the Canadian, I might try and get back past him here. No point just sitting behind him and destroying these tyres in the dirty air. If we can have a look, Stroll goes defensive. Not quite close enough that time round as we head in through Sector 3. But we're still doing alright at this stage of the day. And yeah, we just got to keep trying to either apply the pressure or sit 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds back. Right, round 2 then. Ahead of Lance Stroll here. Can we try and jump the Aston Martin once again? Again, Stroll goes defensive. We just gain on him right at the end of the straightaway here, but this time round we should be able to find the momentum on the exit. Got the inside for the next corner here, but Stroll not wanted to give it up. I think neither of us want to deal with the dirty air, but we do get through on the Canadian. And now we've just got, what, 11 laps to go here, and we are still in P9. And to make things even better, Kimi's in at the end of the lap, so he's going to be relegated right back down into that huge train of cars. Further down the order, P8 now of the US Grand Prix. We could definitely have some points. I've got to be a little bit careful in the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix. Got to be careful of that as well. We're still running ever so slightly low on fuel at the moment, so just trying to lift off ever so slightly in a couple of spots to try and claw that back. Don't want to do that though on the exits of corners, and then just short shift a little bit on the way out. Lance might be able to get back past us here, and I think, to be honest, we've got to focus on saving the fuel first. Might try and use some DRS from the Canadian. Ooh, brakes a lot earlier there than I was expecting. But yeah, we've got to try and save the fuel first. Gasly's another 7 seconds back, and then Ocon's 12 seconds behind us still. And he is obviously, if Gasly gets us, we'll still be in the points, so that wouldn't be the end of the world. 7 laps to go here from Kota into the final quarter of this Grand Prix. We're in that difficult balance at the moment where we're still trying to save fuel, but we're also trying to stay in the DRS range of Lance Stroll there. Just tipped at the 1 second mark for a moment. Might have to use a bit of battery actually on the exit here, as yeah, we will just about stay inside that 1 second mark this time round. But yeah, really pushing just to try and find that balance as we head out onto the back straight again. We will get the DRS. We do gain a fair bit as well, but then we have to lift off just to try and make sure we've still got enough, that we're saving enough in the tank still. Really difficult to save fuel on F1 2021. Oh, well, that's not going to help us either. Running almost into the back of the Canadian. But yeah, we're just slowly bringing it back neutral, and then we can push. Right, 5 to go then. We are now into the green on the fuel. I think we need to just save a little bit more this lap. But I think now, yeah, we can really try and push against Lance Stroll here. Luckily, it's given us a good chance to save the battery as well over the last couple of laps, just using a load of it down the straight to get close to him. And of course, trying to fuel save around the rest of the lap. No real point in using too much of it either. But we might still definitely be able to get P8 in this Grand Prix. That line through there is not going to help us out all too much. But yeah, let's just see now. If we can just get a little bit closer.
Keep taking care of them.
No issues with tyre wear. That's what we'd like to see. Of course, Stroll and I in exactly the same boat in this Grand Prix. But yeah, we just need to see. That's not going to help us. Big fishtail out of the hairpin We need to just get 1-1 on him, but it needs to be late enough in the race as well that he can't do anything to come back at us. Oh, that's a lot better traction out of the hairpin this time round. The gap to Stroll less than half a second before we even get to the DRS. Surely this is a done deal this time round as we head down the back straight to the outside of the Canadian, and clean past him before we even get into the braking zone there. Get the car slowed down nice and tidy, running a little bit wide.
Nice move.
Team happy with that one though. And we're now back up at a P8 with just 4 to go here from COTA. Right, the real question is now, oh, that's not going to help us. Are we going to see Stroll get a run? Surely he's sensing an opportunity after that nice kick a wheel spin out of the hairpin. We haven't got too much battery. I think this one's going to be a foregone conclusion as we head up the back straight again. This is a fantastic battle with Lance Stroll. We've been battling him for about 20 laps in this Grand Prix there as the Canadian locks up though on the exit. Doesn't get the traction down off the corner there. Does keep the nose up the inside as we head through the next couple of corners here. Somehow we find some room just inside the white lines there, and somehow we've held on to this position for another lap. Lap then here of the US Grand Prix, and we are still just about holding on from Lance Stroll behind us here. I don't know how much battery he's got saved up, ready to just go full attack there. Even had a look through the S's on the final lap of this Grand Prix there, but Canadian, he's done everything he can today. We've both nailed the strategy that's allowed us to stay quite a few seconds away from a lot of guys that normally would probably overwhelm us in these races. But we're going to have to drain the battery now. It's all or nothing here at the US Grand Prix. Is Stroll going to get close enough? He's not gaining that much. He is definitely closing in. But if we completely drain the battery, he's not going to get close enough to do anything. As we head into Sector 3 here. Round in the final corner though, Carlos Sainz is a Formula 1 Grand Prix winner. Many thought it might never happen, but Ferrari have put in so much work over the course of this year, and I'm sure that feels great for the Spaniard. They're just following on from his idol Fernando Alonso there, and GG's Carlos Sainz. I'm sure that's a lot of people are happy to see that one there. Red Bull come through for P2 and P3 there. Bottas comes through in P4, so not able to capitalise on his teammate's DNF, but round in the final corner, our third points finish in 5 Grand Prix. Yes, let's have that.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. So, let's review the drivers' standings. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Yuki Tsunoda gets my vote today.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula 1 action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the US Grand Prix, and 4 cars separated by under 2 seconds there, battling it out for the race victory. But it is Carlos Sainz. He's been quick all weekend in that Ferrari. P2 on the grid, and yeah, obviously once Hamilton fell to the wayside, just was able to hold on ahead of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez there at the end of the day. Bottas is P4, and like you heard, does mean that Mercedes, though, do wrap up the Constructors' Championship with Lando Norris being McLaren's only scorer in P5 there. Vettel, Leclerc, we come through for P8 in the end from 11th on the grid. And yeah, most of that work was done down at Turn 1. To be honest, most of it was done with just the sheer amount of grid penalties. We moved up 5 spots for the start of the race there, and luckily it was all drivers like the Alpha Tauris and the Alpines there that aren't that much quicker than us because of all the upgrades we've put on. they just couldn't cover the gap at the end of the day there. Stroll and Pierre Gasly, though, do round out your scorers, sorry. They're ahead of both of the Alpines. You can see further down the order, obviously Hamilton, the only man not to make it to the checkered flag there. But yeah, the likes of Gasly with penalties, both Alpines, Danny Rick, Yuki Tsunoda, all of them there would normally be quicker than us, but we've got a quicker car than Alfa Romeo at the moment there. It's just the same Schwartzman had to two-stop this race. We did it! More points on the board. We're very, very happy with that one. Let's have a look at your championship standings, though it is still Hamilton that leads the way, 18 clear of his teammate Valtteri Bottas there. Verstappen with that good result jumps Danny Rick. Perez jumps Charles Leclerc as well, as they're tied on 130 points apiece. And Carlos Sainz is bringing himself into that battle. 29 points from 3rd down to 8th. Overall here, Stroll's good season of form continues, further cementing himself as best of the Aston Martin duo, as we try and take some points out of Pierre Gasly. I think 15 points, unless we get a miracle, is probably not going to happen in the final few races of the year, though. We should now, theoretically, be able to hold on ahead of Ocon, though, unless he gets really, really consistent in the final few races of the championship. And yeah, like we said, 288 points now, the gap at the top there, with 168 available. If I'm not mistaken. Sorry, 176 even available in the final few rounds of the year as well there. Just 9 points, though, between McLaren and Red Bull, and Ferrari is certainly trying to get themselves involved in that battle late on in the year as well. So plenty to watch out for in the final 4 races of the season. Thank you all so much for watching this US Grand Prix, and yeah, we'll be back tomorrow ready for Mexico. You guys do not want to miss it. Of course, none of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David and Ben for becoming channel members. Of course, if you want to be featured in these end clips below, make sure you click that join button and you'll get access to some other exclusive perks as well.